Hi, everyone. It's Betty Ray again. I'm bringing you a special treat today. I've decided to read aloud Raphael's new book called Timely Messages from an Archangel. It is answering all the questions that everybody has asked us throughout the many years that I've been channeling the Archangel. And so we hope that you will enjoy it. We will only give a half hour each day, and then you can tune in the next time for the next video, or if you don't get this one live, then you can look at them one after the other. But we figured a half hour is enough time. So we're going to pay attention now. We're probably starting at 2 o'clock on, this is August 23rd, 2020. And so we're happily reading to you the messages that Raphael has sent to us, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to be looking over here, and when I do, it's because I'm looking at the other computer and reading. I don't have the book in print yet, but it's on the computer. So this is a metaphysical book written by Raphael and me, Betty Ray, and it is, let's see if I can get it started here. Okay. We have an introduction by me, and this is what it says. This book is a recording of the wisdom channeled through me by the Archangel Raphael in answer to the many questions of the thousands of people who have come to us. The clear and loving messages always lifted their hearts and minds through this healing angel's guidance. Rather than constantly saying who is speaking, I've decided to put my questions as well as those by our many clients into italicized font and Raphael's words in another font to make it easier to read and discern who is speaking. I will have to let you know that since I'm doing this and you're not reading it. And it goes on. This is my introduction still. Although there are many names people give for God, such as Allah, Heavenly Father, Buddha, Isis, Great Spirit, Krishna, Christ, the Source, and still more with each religion to assemble in the name of a higher power. Raphael has chosen to use the most recognized ones in English-speaking countries, which are God, Creator, and higher power. I have asked that we use the capitalized non-gender pronoun it when we speak of God, because God is not a male or a female, but we as humans always have to try to picture everything that is non-physical. And so many picture God as this white bearded man sitting on a throne. That's not God. Okay. My introduction goes on to say, because angels and archangels are pure spirit, they are also non-gender. But for this book, we will use the male pronoun for Raphael so as not to confuse the pronoun it for God. Again, we will show our questions and comments in italics. I'm still reading from the book. Raphael and I are here to assist you, dear reader. Call upon God, the source of all it is, to reveal to you all you are now and will become. God will send its archangels for your enlightenment. Although Raphael has likely been with me since birth, I was not aware of the archangel until about 50 years ago when I began hearing his voice within me. It frightened me at first, until I settled down to accept the gentle words and great wisdom given through me for others. Then in 1995, words flowed through me in the form of letters that were signed Your Guardian Angel. It is now available on my webpage entitled Letters from a Guardian Angel. And I'll put that in now. My webpage is Angel Betty Ray, ANDRAPHAEL.com. And I go on to say in the book, this giant being of divine light simply said, when I ask, how on earth can you visualize billions of years of our physical life experiences as humans? He said with the first word. As channeling became more widely accepted, and as we write this in the year 2020, I know it is the right time to bring forth an archangel's wisdom. It is urgently needed to solve global warming that is threatening our very existence. As if that were not enough at the time of this writing, the world is experiencing the coronavirus that has stopped us in our tracks. In all my years, I've never seen such pandemic ravage human population all over the world. When I asked Raphael, what in the world is going on? He said, it is the time of times when your human population is raising its consciousness. It is a time when your earth is cleansing itself of old ideas and bringing forth an insurgence of the new. Pretty exciting, huh? Then I asked Raphael what it meant. And so that's what he's going to spend time today talking to you about. And so we're going to go on to give you his introduction. And he says, we are Raphael, God's messenger of healing to the human race. We are a being of divine light who brings forth the mind of God into all languages for the advancement of humankind. Ray is but one of our many channels translating God's thoughts and ideas. We speak in the pronoun we to denote that all within the angelic realm are of one mind and purpose to serve God. Indeed, in this book, we have set forth the task of redefining previously held beliefs. Humans tend to label everything. Long ago, your ancestors named those of us in the angelic realm as the choir of angels portraying us in various ranks before the throne of God. This is a lovely imagery, but we are far more than this. God designed its angelic realm as translators of divine mind to reach all of its creations. We do not wear wings. Again, the human image of authors describing battles between good and evil set forth this image as truth. It is not. Although many venerate us, we insist that we are no greater or lesser than you or any of God's creations. We are God's messengers to your world to translate the word, the God mind, into your human languages and to bring an awakening of your oneness within the creator of us all. We are speaking through this channel to raise your consciousness so you may experience divine harmony, peace, love, and joy within your dear self. While you cannot yet escape the experience of the turmoil and darkness of your earth's polarities, sooner or later you are destined to enter into the full awareness of the joy of divine light that is God. You call this enlightenment. We call this the awakening. Once reached, your explorations of your planet will conclude, and you will ascend to the higher realms of sentient beings. Be of good heart, dear souls. From the first lifetime as the sentient being, you entered the physical world clad in a spacesuit called your physical body. Change something here. Okay, there we go. Long ago, beings from another planet came to prepare Earth to receive you. You remember these beings as gods described in both your Roman and Greek mythology. You are scientists exploring a planet. With each visit, your experience gains your soul knowledge in how to use God energy to create within the confines of a planet that is both positive and negative polarities. It is not an easy path, and this is most likely not your last lifetime. Although Earth may seem like a school for souls, it is more like a science laboratory where your choices become an experiment from which you gain new knowledge, which leads to better experiments, which lead to wisdom and eventually mastership. There is no pass-fail for advancement. When you begin to see God in everyone and everything, when you cease to judge your life or the lives of others, and come to love and enjoy each moment of your existence upon your beautiful planet. And when you can manifest all your needs, then you know it is your last lifetime of exploring your planet. And even when you accomplish this, like many advanced souls on your planet now, you may choose to return to help those souls still exploring the planet to speed the healing of your earth. We urge you to let go of fear and anxiety for yourself, for others, and for your planet. Use the powerful ability to create beauty and goodness first within yourself, and then allow your love to bring light to others across the world. We offer this book as a gentle pathway to reduce anxiety and fear and make your life's journey smoother, easier, and more joyful. All in the angelic realm have been with you since the beginning of time, helping, loving, and serving your development. We say unto you, God loves you without judgment. You are seen as perfect. You hold the essence of God, whispering new and wondrous ideas for you to bring forth into your world. We urge you to take notes. While you are reading our book, we greatly encourage you to take notes of additional questions and thoughts. If they are not answered within this book, we encourage you to send them to Ray for future books or through a private session with us. Ray no longer charges for these uplifting consultations. We suggest you record the results of your daily decisions and choices as if you were a scientist in a laboratory. This will speed your journey to enlightenment. When you record the formulas you use to create the results you desire, you can more quickly discern what works and what does not. Especially pay attention to the role your emotions play with each decision, for they greatly affect the end results in creating either success or failure. We will speak often throughout this book of the influence your emotions have upon your daily living and your seeking of happiness. Imagine that God sent you on a mission to explore Earth. Become a scientist, observing and experimenting and recording your results. You cannot fail in this endeavor. Your job is to bring forth new ideas and observe how they give you either positive or negative results. A scientist does not judge the results. A scientist only observes and records and experiments again, gathering knowledge with each endeavor. In other words, while you meditate within your quiet space, imagine yourself within your technical laboratory of physical experiments and record the knowledge you have gained from each. This record will prevent you from repeating the same formula of failure before you obtain your desired results. The biggest detriment to your success is self-condemnation for what you deem to be poor decision-making. All life is simply another experiment in your soul's laboratory. Document the information, study the parts that worked and those that did not, and experiment again. You will receive a bonus from your written words. We will use this communication to connect with you. Writing puts you into a semi-trance state. It is then we will whisper guidance and encouragement for you to follow your soul's plan. We will also send people who will help you along your path. Over many lifetimes, you have explored belief systems generated from parents, teachers, and spiritual leaders. In this life, you may find yourself questioning them. In creating your scientific journal, we encourage you to question anything we say that does not feel right or comfortable for you. Do not take our words as gospel. It is right and good for you to question. Still, we ask that you hold off judgment until you have finished reading our book. Perhaps with a fuller understanding of our concepts and point of view, you will see your world from a different perspective. More importantly, at the end of this book, your documentation of questions and observations in finding answers to your long-held questions will become a channel to connect you with your angels and guides. May this book free you to spread your wings and fly. And that is the end of the introduction from Raphael. And we go to chapter 1. The first question, which many people ask, is, who am I? And Raphael puts it this way. We say unto you, beloved soul, God is pure love energy, giving life to all that exists in both physical and non-physical worlds. God created your soul and sent it forth as an explorer of planet Earth within a perfect spacesuit called a physical body, accompanied by a faster vibrating duplicate body called a spirit that holds your conscious awareness as well as all your emotions, that cannot reason or understand, but can trigger your mind and heart to rediscover that you are one with God. Now, here on, I'm going to have to say, I say, and Raphael says, so that you can understand who's talking. So my reaction to that above poem was, that about sums it all up, Raphael. And Raphael said, indeed, Ray, we have summarized the heart of all questions, and each one brings an answer that in turn brings you closer to God and the knowledge that we are all one with the Creator. Although we may oversimplify with the above statements, we shall elaborate further throughout this book so as to bring clarity to these concepts. Let these truths light your way through earth's darkness and seeming loneliness. Know we are always with you, loving you and guiding you. I say, it's hard for us humans to comprehend that we cannot see anything we cannot see or feel. Even when we hear your voice within us, we question that it may be just our imagination. And then we can feel so alone. Raphael says, God intended for his beloved creations to be happy. Your emotions will tell you what truth is and what it is not. We encourage you to make a conscious choice to react to life's puzzles out of a sense of joyfulness rather than anxiety or fear. Only then shall you create beauty and goodness in solving every concern. My answer to that was, our emotions are all over the place. How can we always be happy? And Raphael said, you cannot. You live with a planet with polarities. You will always experience both positive and negative emotions. The trick is to become aware of which end of the spectrum you are experiencing and then to choose how you will respond to balance your emotions and your life. When you release fear and anxiety and seek inner peace and divine love, you automatically raise your consciousness enough to contact God's angelic messengers. They can then assist you along your journey into the discoveries of your physical world. And then I ask, but the question everyone wants to know is who or what is God? And Raphael says, we say unto you, God is the source of all energy. All that exists is the vibrating energy supplied by the source. Now I said, now that's something to ponder, and I have come to believe this with all my heart and soul. And it's true, I have. When I met my husband, Bill, which is not his real name, and he told me he didn't believe in God, I thought, well, this won't last long. But when I explained how I believed God was the energy by which everything exists, he thought a moment and then said, then God is like this big generator in the sky, and we all have extension cords plugged into him. I laughed with delight and thought it was a wonderful visual. Raphael said, indeed it is. We shall not attempt to accurately describe or understand how one mind can contain and hold constant awareness of all that exists in both physical and non-physical worlds. But God is always aware of itself and you. Think of yourself as a vessel holding the God energy within your soul, within your human body. It is the energy by which you exist and breathe and have your being. You are powerfully and exquisitely created to do what only you can do. You reflect divine energy that displays itself as light. Therefore, we call you a light being, a lamplighter, bringing forth God's light and love within your world. Then I said, when you first connected with me, Raphael, I had never even heard of channeling, and thus fear overwhelmed me. But with the encouragement of my friend Landy, who had witnessed channelers, I was able to dip my foot back into the waters of trans-channeling, which is the term used when another entity can trade places with your spirit and use your body to express otherworldly ideas. I had so much to learn about the whole idea, but Landy had just happened to come to stay with me while she decided if she wanted to continue in her marriage or not. We did not know how life-changing her visit would be. Raphael says, we did know and had encouraged the visit through ideas whispered in your friend's ear. So I said, and once we realized what was happening, we recorded this session with you, Raphael, and it again just happened that my friend had two, not one, but two transcribers whereby we could both listen to the cassettes and type the words into our computers. Raphael says, there are no coincidences, Ray. We had whispered to your friend to bring them. She had no idea why, but did so anyway. I said, I am in awe of how angels work with us. I'm also afraid I cannot ever measure up to the work you have set before me. I often feel so inadequate. And Raphael says, this is precisely why we have urged you to write this book, to channel our voice within you, to put aside doubt and anxiety that you are not perfect. No human is. But your willing heart is perfect, Ray. Be at peace and trust we will bring this knowledge forth for the greatest good of all who read our words. We shall bring forth answers to the many questions also asked as to bring peace, harmony, and wisdom to all human souls upon your planet. We desire to make these complex subjects of who God is, who you are, and why you are here joyfully acceptable to people of all faiths and beliefs, with or without religious ties. We see the eternal search for something or someone greater than yourself. This search is inevitable as part of your soul's development within the physical world. We have brought God's wisdom through many channelers throughout the centuries. They have been called saints or wise teachers of esoteric knowledge. For many of you, what we speak of here is not new knowledge, yet we present this material as if it were new. We desire only to uplift and inspire you, dear reader, for your greatest good and happiness. In God's infinite wisdom, it designed its human creations to become co-creators with it. It sent forth souls to explore the denser energy of physical worlds. And I said, worlds? Plural? And Raphael said, indeed, God is not limited as humans are. Many planets through many universes are inhabited by sentient beings. And I said, I guess it is rather arrogant and naive of us to believe otherwise. But then again, most humans believe God is created in their image and likeness. They see God as a human man with a long white beard, sitting on a throne pointing where souls will go, to heaven or to hell. Raphael says, we say unto you, there is never any judgment from God and its angels. A God of pure love energy could not create your visions of a fiery hell. There is only a heaven in which there are many dwelling places to suit each soul's needs and desires. Your master teacher, Jesus the Christ, said how in his Father's house there were many mansions. Heaven is a faster vibrating dimension just beyond your Earth's gravity. It has no polarities and thus is only filled with positive, loving energy. And indeed, it does have many mansions or dimensions of vibrational energy that match the vibration of each soul's stage of development. Beginner souls will be more comfortable with souls of like mind. Likewise, advanced souls will find other advanced souls with whom to communicate. And I said, is that why when people return from a near-death experience, they say they didn't want to come back? Raphael says, indeed, this is so. For when your physical body dies, your spirit ascends into the perfect dimension to be compatible with their spiritual development. It is why we call it heaven. I said, but let's talk about how we came here in the first place. Explain how I got here, please. And then we talk about the process of incarnation. Your coming to Earth required great preparation. First, God prepared your planet to inhabit sentient life. This alone took eons of your Earth development through your concept of time. Then it designed and created your physical vehicle, which has also developed over eons of time. And I said, I rather imagine our bodies as an amazing spacesuit. I have to do some. Let me pause here for a minute. It's not going to let me do that. That God created for us so we could survive within the atmosphere of our planet. And Raphael says, it too has evolved to become what you are today. And I said, so can souls just decide they want to come to Earth and pop in? Raphael said, no, there is a long preparation for a soul to be permitted to become an explorer of any planet. Your soul had to commit to a complete cycle of incarnations. And I asked, and what's a cycle? How long is it? And Raphael said, cannot be measured in Earth's time. It differs with each soul, depends on how quickly the soul absorbs the knowledge of manifestations. The beginning experiences are usually devoted to the soul adjusting to wearing a physical body. The soul's attention is totally focused on the body's pains and pleasures, and thus you will observe sexual deviance and crimes related to physical pleasures. In order to grow from a beginner's perspective to that of an experienced explorer, the soul must go through many stages similar to a human child's development before becoming a successful, productive adult. I said, wow. Then are you saying that these baby souls are the ones creating all the havoc on our planet? Raphael said, we will go into more detail about the stages of soul development, which will reveal much about why people do what they do. For now, just know that souls evolve from its beginning stages of awareness to the advanced stage, which requires many life experiences. Thus, the need for a commitment to the entire cycle of lifetimes that will lead to adulthood and enlightenment. Exploration of your planet gains you mastery over the art of transforming non-physical matter, such as a thought or a desire, into dense matter, such as a chair or a work of art. And I said, so we are learning how to become a master of manifestation, turning God's ideas into something we can see or touch or feel? And Raphael says, yes. And this takes many life experiences to master. Only a few souls come here already a master of the concepts in merging with this God source. They are called avatars. Then he goes on to talk about your personal guardian angel. And he says, in preparing you for sentient life, God appointed a personal angel to guide you throughout each life's exploration of your planet. And I said, people often ask us how they can contact their guardian angel. Raphael said, you can contact your angel by paying attention to your dreams and your daydreams with the inspirations to create beauty and goodness in your world. And I asked, but how do we hear our guardian angels? And Raphael said, you do not always hear a voice speaking from within. Angels speak the language of imagery and joy. You cannot hear them when you are within a dark emotional energy. You need to raise up your energy into a place of peace, harmony, and joy to be able to hear our voices. I said, oh, well, please tell us how we do that. And Raphael said, patience, dear Ray. We know you speak also for our readers. There are so many questions. One by one, we shall try to answer them all. And he goes on to say, your personal angel is aware of your soul's purpose for your life. Imagine your earth as a stage, such as your Shakespeare suggested long ago. Your angel acts like your backstage manager and cue master, knowing the appropriate time to send forth new actors upon your earth stage. And I said, like when we say, something told me to, and Raphael says, indeed, your angel sends you flashes of pictures or abstract ideas and thoughts. And then he said, I said, like when you're thinking about someone and you picture them in your mind and suddenly they call you. And then Raphael says, yes, exactly. We say again, dear reader, you are always within the heart and mind of God. The Creator gently and lovingly looks after your every moment and breath ever since your conception within the mind of God. You have been given many gifts to accompany you on your journey through the physical. Your soul can create whatever God inspires of you. Rejoice in this. Then he goes on to talk about our council of elders. He says, to guide you through your cycle of incarnations, God assigned your soul to a council of elders who are made up of master souls who no longer incarnate within a physical dimension. They act as your teachers and guides, helping you plan each life before it begins, working with you throughout the life and reviewing it afterward. They guide you from the moment of your birth as a soul from the source until your return to the soul world after each exploration of your physical world. And I said, but it seems like too many people don't listen to their angel or guide or counsel's guidance. And Raphael said, this is because you have the gift of free will. God would not interfere with your freedom of choice, for it is the means by which you explore new ideas and new emotional adventures. It is important that you experience both polarities of your planet. This means you will choose what you label as evil at some time or another. How else will your soul gather knowledge of your planet? And I said, some people may believe that COVID-19 is a punishment for our sins. Does God send these plagues to punish us? Raphael says, indeed not. God is pure love energy. Your planet is experiencing its own method of cleansing. He says, I said, we speak of our planet as Mother Earth. Is she a live being ensouled within our planet? And Raphael said, yes. This large evolved soul is trying to balance its body by throwing off pollutants like a shaggy dog shaking to throw off water. Thus you have volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, hurricanes, and plagues. And I said, it's because of how badly we have polluted our planet. And Raphael said, indeed, pollution is choking Mother Earth and making her ill. And then I said, we noticed how during the lockdown, because of this virus, people in very polluted countries were amazed to see clear skies like they had not seen in years. And yet some people refuse to acknowledge that we need to find a solution to global warming. This is why some people believe this is the worst of times on our planet, not only with global warming, but because of great discord among nations and now with this pandemic. Can you tell us more about this coronavirus? Are we really going to see the end of it soon? And Raphael says, the word corona refers to the halo around the virus. Unfortunately, those who discontinue the safeguards of personal distancing and extreme hygiene before the plague has died will experience a resurgence of the virus. It is a stubborn virus and will fight to stay alive, he says. Only your scientists who seek a real inoculation can truly stop its spread. Again, this process needs real scientific trials that take time. There is no quick cure to this virus. He goes on to say, plagues have swept across your planet in waves like tsunamis. It is a natural part of the makeup of your physical world, just as are earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. In the past, entire civilizations have been erased from your planet. You seek to blame it on some specific occurrences or some evil committed by a group. This is never the case. Some viruses, like this one, came about when humans sold the flesh of wild animals for food that carried the virus to humans. It found the human species a great breeding factory and leapfrogged from one human to another, eventually weakening the immune system and destroying the lungs. Scientists will always seek to find the cause to gain knowledge in the hopes of preventing it from reoccurring. I ask, how is it some people seem to have a natural immunity to the virus? Raphael said this reflects the divine plan for each soul's story while on Earth's stage. And I asked, but I've seen people arrogantly refusing to obey the precautions like social distancing and the wearing of masks and gloves. They declared they would never get it. And Raphael says, and they could be right. But there will be others who will be humbled when they contract the virus. This will in turn awaken others of like mind. All of these seeming tragedies are but a human perspective as to the survival of humans. There are many factors within your planet's life that bring about such disasters. Of course, knowledge gained from such experiences should teach us not to build a home at the base of a live volcano, but we never seem to learn. This is what I'm saying. People build homes on cliffs that are known to disappear in mudslides. They continue to build on coastal waters where tsunamis are known to make entire cities disappear. Raphael said wise souls do learn and try to teach others how to prepare. And yet beginner souls in government in their grab for power may contradict the wisdom of their elders. And I said, we have seen that in our government's handling of the coronavirus, like a child who wants to go outside and play while a tornado is rampaging, we are given mixed messages as to when the tornado will, quote, just disappear, unquote. Raphael says, we understand how inexperienced souls seek their own pleasures. Long ago, we predicted this time of confusion and discord among humans over global warming. We saw how the raising of consciousness would begin when there was transparency within your political scenes throughout the world, when lies became known as lies and fact-checking would reveal truth. One could no longer hide behind a smile that holds false intent. One could no longer hide behind a smile that holds false intent. Thousands will awaken to a higher sense of integrity, honesty, compassion, and love, says Raphael. They will rise up and demand truth. It is the beginning of a new awareness that you are all one with God. And so, dear reader, we shall put forth these thoughts and ideas into a new understanding of why you came to earth. For some, it is because we have called you to join us like a lamp in the darkness. And yet you may feel as if you are still in darkness. We come to lead you into joy, to experience inner peace and harmony, and thus share this new awakening with many other souls as well. During this time, you will discover the bliss of knowing who and what God is as you feel its divine energy of love and peace within you. You will glow with the light of God, such that others will become inspired when basking in your bliss. When you shine brightly, inspired, you will ignite the hearts of all around you, and they too become God's lamplighters. Their light inspires others to become lamplighters, and so on, until this chain reaction changes your world and God is made manifest within your world. He goes on to say, it is now the time of times. Rejoice in it. Rejoice that your species has come a long way from its beginnings. Therefore we say unto you, explore your planet. Test out your ideas. Learn through trial and error, and know that nothing you do is ever judged by God as evil, or even as good or better than another. The Creator sees you as perfect and delights in you as you are in each moment in time. And I said, we need to summarize this chapter with one question. Who and what is God? And who and what am I? And Raphael said, God is the divine energy by which everyone and everything exists. Therefore, God knows you intimately, as it has the breath through which you breathe. It is the mind through which you connect with itself and with one another. God is pure love. It cannot conceive of creating discord or evil. It does not create a purgatory or a hell. Only humans within a planet of polarities can experience good and evil, your terms to describe energy as it flows through you and your environment, colored by the dense nature of Earth. Be not deceived. There is no devil. There is only your planet's pull on your emotions to explore its dense negative energy. It is well and good for your soul to reap what it has sown. For only in so doing can you discern and define your emotional and physical reaction to each experience. And so, dear friends, we will conclude this first chapter, this first video about our book, Raphael and I, called Ask Raphael, and we hope that you'll come back for the second chapter, if you will, as we read this book aloud to you. Until next time, God bless you. Please subscribe. Tell many others to come to this channel so that we may teach them how to lift up their spirits out of the fear and anxiety that this coronavirus has caused, and to know that they are spiritual beings first with the soul. And so we say to you, be at peace. Until next time.